Welcome back to Grammar Grade 12. I'm glad you're here. This is Unit 11, Lesson 90, and today we take on one of the smallest marks in all of punctuation, the hyphen. It's easy to overlook that little dash, but it does real work. It splits a word at the end of a line. It ties numbers together. It links words into a single description, and it hooks certain prefixes onto their words. Learn where it belongs, and your writing looks polished and clear. Let's take a look. Before we dig in, let's see the whole map. The hyphen is a short dash, shorter than the dash you use for a pause, and it has 4 small jobs. First, it can divide a word that runs off the end of a line. Second, it links certain compound numbers and fractions. Third, it joins 2 or more words into a single modifier. And fourth, it attaches a few particular prefixes to their words. 4 jobs, 1 tiny mark. Keep them in mind and you'll always know when to reach for it. It's a small mark, but it keeps your writing clear. Let's start with the oldest job of the hyphen, dividing a word at the end of a line. When a word won't quite fit, you can break it and carry the rest to the next line, but only in the right place. The rule is simple. Split a word only between its syllables. Wonderful breaks as wonderful. Celebrate breaks as celebrate. River breaks as riv-er. What you must never do is split a 1-syllable word. A word like through or strength has just 1 beat, so it can't be broken at all. Never through-oo, never strength. And when you're not sure where the syllables fall, do the smart thing and check a dictionary. Next, numbers. When you spell out a compound number, you hyphenate every one from 21 all the way to 99. 47, 63, 99. Each gets a hyphen between its 2 parts. Fractions follow a related rule, but it depends on how the fraction is working. When a fraction acts as a modifier, describing a noun, it takes a hyphen. A 2/3 majority. A 1/2 cup of sugar. But when that same fraction acts as a noun, standing on its own, you drop the hyphen. 2/3 of the voters agreed. Here, 2/3 is the subject, a noun, so no hyphen. So ask what the fraction is doing. Modifying, hyphen. Naming, none. Now the job you'll use most often, joining words into a single modifier. When 2 or more words team up to describe a noun, and they sit right before that noun, you link them with a hyphen. Think of a well-known author. Well and known are working together as one description, so we hyphenate. Well known. The same happens with a 10-year-old boy. 10, year, and old fuse into a single modifier before boy. And a long-term contract, long and term, join to describe the contract. The pattern is steady. When the compound sits before the noun, a hyphen ties the words into one idea. But here's the twist that trips people up. Those same words often lose the hyphen when they move to the other side of the noun. Before the noun, we write a well-known author, hyphen and all. Move the description after the noun, though, and the hyphen usually disappears. The author is well known. Nothing joins them now because they no longer sit in front of the noun they describe. There's one more place the hyphen stays away. After an adverb that ends in ly. We never hyphenate there. A highly rated film needs no hyphen, and neither does a beautifully written essay. The ly already links the words for us. Our last job for the hyphen is with prefixes. Most prefixes attach with no hyphen at all. Words like preview, unhappy, and reopen run right together. But a few prefixes always take a hyphen. Use one after self, ex meaning former, all, and great. Self-control, ex-mayor, all-inclusive, great aunt. You also add a hyphen when a prefix meets a proper noun or a proper adjective. Pre-Columbian art, an un-American attitude, a trip in mid-July. And finally, use a hyphen to prevent confusion or an awkward double letter. Re-elect keeps the two E's from colliding, and recover, meaning to cover again, needs its hyphen to stay separate from recover, which means to get well. That tiny mark can change the whole meaning. Let's boil the whole lesson down to a quick check. 1. Are you breaking a word at the end of a line? Then split it between syllables only, and never a one-syllable word. 2. Is it a compound number from 21 to 99, or a fraction that modifies a noun? Add a hyphen. 3. Is it a compound modifier sitting before the noun? Hyphenate it, but not when it follows the noun, and never after an ly adverb. And 4. Is the prefix self, ex, all, or great? Or does the prefix meet a proper name? Then use a hyphen. Run those 4 questions and that little mark will land exactly where it belongs. Let's practice. In this first set, I'll show you a sentence and ask whether a word or pair of words needs a hyphen. Think about dividing words, compound numbers, and compound modifiers. Pause the video and decide before I reveal each answer. She counted blank books on the shelf. 52 with a hyphen or 52 without? 52 is a compound number between 21 and 99, and every one of those gets a hyphen. So it's 52 books on the shelf. They signed a blank lease. 5-year or 5-year? 5 and year are teaming up to describe the noun lease, and they sit right before it. A compound modifier before the noun takes a hyphen, so it's a 5-year lease. At the end of a line, how do we handle the word thought? Split it as thought or leave it whole? Thought has only one syllable, one single beat, and a one-syllable word can never be broken. So we leave it whole and carry the entire word to the next line. Now the second set. These sentences turn on prefixes, fractions, and that ly exception. Decide whether each one needs a hyphen, then check your answer against mine. Pause and choose first. It was a blank essay. Beautifully written with a hyphen, or beautifully written without? The word beautifully is an adverb ending in ly, and we never place a hyphen after an ly adverb, so it stays open. A beautifully written essay. Her blank impressed the judges. Self-control as 2 words, or self-control with a hyphen? The prefix self always takes a hyphen when it joins a word, so the answer is self-control. Nearly blank of the class voted yes. 3/4 with a hyphen, or 3/4 without? Here, the fraction isn't describing a noun. It's acting as a noun itself, the amount that voted. A fraction used as a noun takes no hyphen, so it's 3/4 of the class. Let's gather everything up. First, Use a hyphen to divide a word at the end of a line, only between syllables and never inside a one-syllable word. And to link compound numbers from 21 to 99 and any fraction that modifies a noun. Second, hyphenate a compound modifier when it sits before the noun, but drop the hyphen when the words follow the noun, and never hyphenate after an ly adverb. And third, reach for the hyphen with the prefixes self, x, all, and great, whenever a prefix meets a proper name, and whenever a hyphen keeps two words from being confused, like recover and recover. It's a small mark that makes your writing clean and exact. Next time, in Lesson 91, we'll look at abbreviations, when to shorten a word, and how to punctuate it. I'll see you there.